I'm Sketchy Duval, and today I want to draw something for you. It's this. I was having a kind of like downer day, just feeling very kind of low energy for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a new moon or something. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get enough sleep or I didn't have a good enough breakfast, but I was feeling low energy and it was making me kind of emotional. So I wanted to get that out. So I sketched this and I thought it would be fun to show you more of my inking and coloring process today. So I'm ready to go in with my pen and ink this drawing. I thought it would be fun and interesting to do this because I usually show the process of my sketch from nothing, and honestly it takes a lot of time. I think the sketching phase for me, it has the most corrections at least, so there's a lot of going back and forth and changing things. So sometimes it feels like I'm not making progress, you know? So it ends up taking a lot of time. And it's not always easy to show that process because sometimes I don't even know exactly what I'm going to draw before I draw it. So I feel a little flustered trying to show that process. Today I just thought I could focus more on the sketch in my free time and like really solidify what I wanted, and then once I have that locked down I could just share with you like the more fun process of inking and coloring. So this drawing is of two sad little angels, because I had this idea of drawing a character where their tears, like their teardrops, became kind of like eyelashes or something. So I wanted to see what that would look like. And as I drew it, I was thinking about butterflies. So then it kind of became wings, and then it became angels. You know, that was kind of my thought process on it. I was thinking about butterflies because one of my favorite albums of all time, maybe my #1 favorite album of all time, is Brand New Eyes by Paramore. And I think the album cover is, at least personally for me, the album cover is iconic. It's a ripped up butterfly, like a butterfly where its wings have been torn from its body and pinned to like a notice board or something. I've been wanting to do a drawing inspired by that, so that was just on my mind. So I have these angels where their wings are disconnected from their bodies, and yeah, that's that. I really like doing these like kind of sock puppet characters with these like claw fingers. I don't want them to look too soft, and I love drawing big hands and like long fingers and like spiky fingers. So when I draw characters in this style, I wanted a way to bring that into here as well, that would also make sense. So yeah, I just imagine they have like spike nails coming out of their sock puppet arms or something. Okay, there's the sketch. So now I'll just erase the pencil. Then I can start coloring. Okay. I think it's super cute. And now I can get out my markers. Okay, I immediately know I want his hair to be black, so that's what I'll do first. I always think black hair looks interesting, and I love the contrast of it. I like how graphic it is. Like if you just put straight up black hair. Oh, it's kind of bleeding. Let me put something behind this so it doesn't bleed. There. And then I'll go in with this like gel pen to clean up the edges. I just really love drawing hair. It's always been one of my favorite things to draw. I've always loved drawing faces in general, like heads and faces, you know, like like portraits, you know, that's really what I started with. When I started getting really into art, I would always draw portraits, and I would look at pictures of my favorite celebrities and movie characters and stuff, and I would copy like the picture, you know, like I would draw their portraits. Like I remember in first grade being in class and drawing Keira Knightley as Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean, because I thought she was so pretty. And then in third, fourth, and fifth grade, I drew a lot of pictures of Twilight characters and Hayley Williams from Paramore. I think that was also when I started drawing more of my own characters. The way that I started drawing was by copying reference photos, whether that be a cartoon or a real photo or a video game screenshot or something. Like I always would practice by copying a picture that I was looking at. But at some point I started drawing my own characters and stuff. I think it must have been around, definitely by fifth grade I was doing that. For an art project in my like elementary school art class, I drew my own like skeleton character. And then once I got into junior high school, like maybe 6th or 7th grade, my grandparents got me some private lessons with like a local artist in my hometown who my grandparents were friends with. She taught me a lot of skills about like shading and composition and like ways to draw. Like a lot of the advice that she gave me And a lot of the things she taught me still stick with me. Like, she told me, as your eye moves, let your hand move. And that was something she would repeat as we were doing these like still life kind of drawings. She would set up a little scene of like a flower vase or whatever, or like a plant, or even sometimes like I'd have to draw a picture of her. And she would be like, as your eye moves, let your hand move. Meaning like as I was looking up at the scene in front of me, like even if I wasn't looking at the paper, to keep my hand moving with like what my eye was seeing. And it helped like build the connection between my hand and my brain and my eye, you know? So it feels very fluid for me now. Yeah, I really enjoyed studying art with her for the 2 years that I did it. I've been thinking about emailing her, if I can find her email somewhere, just to be like, hi, this is what I'm doing now, and what I learned with you really meant a lot to me. So, but then I haven't done it yet, because I'm like, would she even want to hear from me? But then I'm like, why wouldn't you want to hear from someone that you taught that they like really appreciate it, you know? So maybe I'll email her. So yeah, I just think that black hair looks so cool. And then I want his hair to be, should it be red or should it be pink? Well, I know I want the tears to be blue, so let me do that first, and then I can figure it out. As I'm thinking about my childhood artwork, I can look back and see that I was always like drawn to the darkness. A lot of my childhood artwork was already with emo kind of characters, and I was always drawn to like black eyeliner and stuff like that. And I don't know why. It's something I don't really question because it just feels natural to me. But thinking about it, I'm like, why as a kid was I so drawn to that kind of stuff? I don't know. Maybe I'll do the hair pink first, and then I'll see how I feel about it. I remember as a kid, I started getting into writing and like writing my own kind of poems. I've never been really into poetry, like reading or writing poetry, but for a little bit as a kid I was kind of into it. Meaning I wrote like 5 poems. I wrote this one called Darkness Ring. And in that poem I said something along the lines of like, all I see is darkness all around me. And I don't know, I was like around 9 years old, something, 9 or 10, maybe 11. And I remember I was like, Dad, read my poem. And I showed it to him and he was like, really? Is that how you feel? And I was so caught off guard. I was like, oh, like, that's like wrong? I don't know. I don't know what drew me to that kind of stuff. I don't know why I've always had that like inclination. Maybe it's something I learned in a past life that stuck with me. I don't know. It's something I now embrace because like what else am I gonna do? I'm like, okay, you know, like, okay. It seems, honestly, it's kind of like curiosity, I think, more than anything. What to do for the bodies, also his face. think his face could be this softer pink. Yeah, that looks really cute. And then let's give him some pink cheeks too. He's crying, so we'll put some redness around his eyes. I love using red as a shading element for pink because I think it makes it look more fresh and it feels kind of cold, you know? Like how in winter when you go outside and your nose turns red. That's kind of the feeling I want this to have, I guess. It's cold but also love. This is looking really cute. Okay, I just have to figure out what to do for the bodies. Like, do I want to add clothes? Or what? Okay, so I had to take a bit of a drawing break to just focus on their clothing and figure out what I wanted to do for their bodies. I ultimately decided on this very simple kind of onesie type thing. I was looking at like 1960s fashion. So I gave them this cute little collar with some ribbon coming off and then some ribbon on their feet as well, almost like faux shoelaces. Because I felt like they needed something down here, but I didn't want to give them shoes. And I thought it was weird to try to give them like sleeves and have like part of their hand peeking out, like their skin color or something. So I decided not to do that. I think their bodies should just be like one color. So let's get into coloring their bodies now. I want his jumper to be this gray purple color. And then I want the heart on his chest to be pink, I think. The same with his. He needs some shading, I think. Also, I think his eyes should be black too. Yeah, oh my god. Sometimes when you are making art, you will like get to a step or like add a detail or something where it just pulls everything together. Or like it just enhances something that you didn't know was missing so greatly. But then once it's there, its absence is so obvious. Okay, and I think I want his jumper to be... Should his jumper be soft pink? Or is it blue? Okay, actually I'm gonna show you a trick. This is something that I usually do when I do traditional art. So what I do is I'll go in and draw a mini version of the thing. Just like very simple, just to get the rough idea. And then once I have that, I'll go in with the colors and I'll test it to see what colors are gonna work in what spot. so I can kind of see how everything might look together before I lock it in and decide 100%. See, so there I have like a little version of this one, and then I can decide if the colors look okay when I test it. See, like, I don't like that. Yeah, I do not think I like that. Because I think I want his halo to be red, and then I want his horns to be pink. No. Okay, let me try another one. Okay. That already looks better to me. Do I want his horns to be red too? Because I feel like the red halo might be a little unbalanced. Let's see. But I like the red halo in like a symbolic way. Yeah, I think his halo needs to be red for personal reasons, but see, I don't like the blue body. I like the pink body. So I think I'll go with this one. So yeah, that's how I can test my colors out before I commit to something. I always used to do that when I would do digital art, or traditional art, like when I was in high school. I would have a page of my sketchbook that was dedicated to testing out colors and stuff. Yes, the red halo was the right choice. I'm glad I decided on that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and then maybe I can use some purple as shadow. I don't want to use the hot pink as shadow because I want this heart to stand out. That's what this is supposed to be, by the way. I wanted it to be like they each have half of the heart on their bodies. So that's what that is. I think I can do some shading with red as well. I like how this red looks as shading on the purple. It almost makes it seem like a light source or something, which isn't something I'm terribly concerned with when I do these drawings, to be honest. Like this style drawing, I don't really focus heavily on realism and light source. I mean, if that wasn't already obvious enough. Speaking of obvious, whenever I say obvious, I think of the song Obvious by The Drums. It's on his newest album, Johnny. And I love that album. I've been listening to it so much recently. I listen to a lot of music in my life, but when I'm drawing, I really don't listen to anything. And I think it's because when I listen to music, I honestly get very distracted. I get very caught up in the songs. And I also love listening to ASMR, But if I listen to ASMR when I'm trying to do anything, I will end up just like laying down and not even sleeping, but literally just relaxing. So I can't listen to ASMR while I draw either. But yeah, recently I've been listening to The Drums, Hannah Diamond, who else? Charlie, of course. I have a playlist that I made of songs that feel kind of like Brat to me, but they were released before Brat ever came out. I listen to that playlist a lot because it's like emotional club, kind of. I don't know, that's what I like about Brat. It's really not one thing. There are many parts of it that speak to different experiences. And the parts of it that really resonate with me are like the real rawness and like the emotion of it that she's expressing, but trying to kind of hide it. Or maybe not hide it, but like putting it on display in a way that doesn't really allow it to maybe be taken as seriously as you normally would if you heard stuff like that. But then because it's juxtaposed in such a way, it also highlights it at the same time. But you're like having fun while you're thinking about it. I don't know, something like that. And I really appreciate that kind of thinking. I think it's so artistic. I truly just think Charlie is such a great artist, like in the real sense of the word artist, like not just music artist, but like actual artist. There's just a lot to appreciate about Charlie in general and about Brett. I don't think their wings should have a color. But maybe I can do a little shading with red, just to make sure they don't blend into the page. Yeah. Wow, I really like this. So now I just have to sign it. I think I'll sign it here. Or should it be here? You know, it probably doesn't matter. I'll put it here. And there we go. Yeah, I really like how this turned out, and it felt really productive to work through whatever negative things I was feeling. It's kind of like free word association or like free picture association or something. Like I'll have something in my mind, on my mind, and I just kind of start somewhere and see what comes of it, see what takes over me. Even if I don't understand it, it's like internally, I think I get it and I feel it and I know what I'm doing on some level. Anyway, yeah, thank you for coming along with me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing more of my coloring process this time, because I usually kind of gloss over that. And if you'd like to see more of my art, you can find me on Instagram at SketchyDuval. Thank you for supporting my art. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching and for listening. And until next time, goodbye.